Hi, this is Sam,
And this is Ram.
and we are with Office Peep. And today in our podcast, we want to talk about a very important topic that every executive must be very conversant with, very fluent with. It must be in his blood, as they say, and that is planning.
So, a lot of times people get stuck. They do not know where to move forward. They are on a standstill. So, they just aim, but they don't fire. So, one of the things that you can actually do is it's high level thinking, or they call it a big picture thinking, where you take a piece of paper and you jot down where is your point A and where is your point B. Point A being where is your present, and point B where is your future. What is it that you want to achieve? So, once you actually got to know your 2 points, you realize there's something to do with your gap. And I think Sam earlier mentioned that only when there is a gap, there is a need to fill that gap. So the gap being a hole needs to be filled. Sam, would you want to elaborate more?
Well, basically, one of the first steps of planning is to identify where the holes, where the gaps are even there. Oftentimes, executives go through their days assuming everything is hunky-dory, and hence their attention, their focus may not be at the very best or most critical aspects of their workflow. So the idea of planning and big picture thinking, as Ram mentioned, is to identify the true gaps that they may have in their workflow and then set aside the less important topics and pay attention, as well as strength and power into, or maybe even willpower in this case, into the most important aspects.
So a couple of things that you may want to consider in terms of putting up your plan. Number one is, how do you begin your workday? That means, what is the intention that you want to say, that you want to start the day off with? The second one is, what are some of the things that you normally say yes to, and what are some of the things that you say no to? Number three, you want to actually start looking at what are some of the stumbling blocks that you want to actually overcome. Number four is, list down what are some of your key challenges that you face. And number five is actually, how can you make a scar-free routine where you are trying to avoid this concern which is called pain. So Sam and I, we came up with this thing called the power prioritizing system. Sam, would you want to share a bit about the power prioritizing system?
Absolutely. So power prioritizing is basically giving the aspect and the function of prioritizing the topmost priority, if you can say that, in your workday. Because the first thing in planning is indeed prioritizing. And power prioritizing is prioritizing with strength, with urgency, with courage. Because to build anything, you need both intelligence, which is the prioritizing aspect, and the strength, which is the courage, which is the hard work that is needed. So in order to get power prioritizing right, at least at an executive level, you have to know thyself, which means you understand your true needs, your true strengths, and even some of your limitations. You have approach of putting a value into every initiative. That some initiatives, they may seem very useful and good, but when you look at the value as compared to their pain, they are not that good. You're able to do a scenario analysis, which is the what ifs, and what happens, or what do you do when certain situations arise. Even if those situations are not very likely, but if they are possible, you consider them, what actions you would take. You have probabilities, of course, which, as I said, is the risks, the contingencies. And finally, to make it all work, you need to have assumptions. And what we are suggesting is have conservative assumptions about all the aspects, all the variables, and only then your plans are sustainable. You have a buffer to succeed.
Yeah. So, for example, if you are supposed to do a particular task for that day, and you realize that the pain factor is not very crucial, or you don't seem to get any value out of it, your ownership for doing that task may not be there. So a lot of times when you start putting in the factor of the value that you're going to get back, or the benefit that you're going to reap from it, or even the pain factor, you will be able to achieve it. Say, for example, if the task that you're doing, if it's going to cost you your job, your income, you're going to feel that pain. If you take it on the context of wanting to lose some weight, if you realize the pain of going through the struggle of going to the gym, working out, burning their calories, finding that struggle to beat that metabolism. When you understand that pain, only then you can actually start moving forward and giving that importance and urgency into the task that you want to do, so that you'll be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. So a lot of times, as Sam was saying about the scenario analysis, start looking at all the different scenarios that or the what if situations, and find ways for you to be a bit more prepared. So once you become a bit more prepared, you will be able to actually have contingencies.
Excellent. And we would like to wrap up this short podcast with a simple phrase which goes, plans are nothing, but planning is everything. So keep planning, keep prioritizing, and your work will become that much smoother automatically. Take care and stay safe.